wasn't even a Gengar. It was a Wobbuffet. And we lived that way, and it was terrifying. This is We Have Concerns. Hi, Jeff Cannata.
Hi, Anthony Carboni.
Hello, concerned citizens.
Anthony, are you one of those people that gets a lot of mosquito bites?
I'm not, actually. I'm not. I remember one time in New York, when I was living there, we had bed bugs, and I didn't know it for like a week. The person that I was dating, her roommate brought bed bugs home from somebody they were dating, and then my partner brought them over to my place, and she was like itchy, and she was like, I don't know.
Does this bed have a massager? Oh no, that's just an entire layer of undulating creatures on my bed.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm just in some sort of Gigarian fucking egg sack that I sleep in. What's the problem? Yeah. So she was getting bites, and I was like, well, are you like, I don't know where are you sure? Do you know where they could be? Like, do you know what's going on? And we did have bed bugs, and like, I apparently was getting bit, but I didn't know. And I wasn't getting bit as much as her. I've always been, it was the one saving grace that I had living in Florida genetically. I can't deal with heat. I can't deal with humidity. I guess it's partially genetic. I was Jewish. They don't like that. But like, at least not the part of Florida that I was in. But, I didn't get mosquito bites the same way everybody else did. It didn't drive me nuts.
Well, I'm sure you've been in a situation with people, loved ones, friends. There's always somebody that's like, oh my God, I constantly get mosquitoes love me. They love me. When I was growing up, my sister always complained, and my family joked, my parents joked, oh, you must have delicious blood or something.
It's just because you're so sweet. They like you because you're so sweet.
You're so sweet. But I was one of those people that didn't get a lot of mosquito bite. We would, we'd go on vacation to the swamp, as one does. Yeah. And we'd
hitch the airboat to the station wagon. Yeah. And head to the swamp.
Go right out down to the swamp, for some good swamping.
Yeah.
Swamping. Fun.
That's another thing I didn't do in Florida.
Swamping.
Very big down there. They love the airboats in the swamps.
I believe it. I watched Bloodline. I saw that.
Yeah.
Anyway, my sister would get a bunch of mosquito bites. Come back, she'd be crying and unhappy, and have the calamine lotion everywhere. And I'd be like, I don't understand what the problem is.
Now, I had heard, at least I had heard or I had read, or maybe this is just one of those apocryphal things that I decided was that I heard because a million other people heard it. But that's when you say the word apocryphal and then define it in the same sentence for no reason. But I had always heard that, yes, some people are more sensitive to mosquitoes. Mosquitoes go after them. But I also heard that women on average are more sensitive to mosquitoes than men. Like mosquitoes will go after them. And also, for whatever reason, women were more affected by whatever the mosquitoes are injecting us with.
Well,
mosquito
that was what
juice.
I had always heard.
What is it? It's poison, right? But what is it?
There is a numbing agent. This is what I had heard. Okay. This is my assumption. I don't know where I heard this, where I picked this up, but I had always believed that there is a numbing agent that the mosquito injects into you first, that causes you not to notice that the mosquito is leaching your blood out of you.
Okay.
And my understanding was that numbing agent, some people are allergic to and others aren't as allergic to. And that it's not that someone is getting bitten by the mosquito more often. It's that some people are just more allergic to the numbing agent and so have more of a reaction.
That tracks. That is one of those things that makes sense when you hear it. And so you never ask the question again.
Right. Well, luckily, scientists have asked the question, and we got this story posted on our Discord.
They're always like, oh, that's what we say, but we don't really know. Listen,
let's not just believe something that somebody told us at some point. Let's maybe look into it. Yeah, no,
Dave,
scientists.
no.
What are you going to do?
No, Dave, listen. Here's the thing. We figured we came up with a solution that we like. Here's what I'm saying. Right now, we've got a 5-step scientific method, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But here's the thing. We can get rid of 80% of our work if we just do the first step good. If we just come up with a hypothesis that's really, really good.
Uh-huh.
And
good being believable.
Yeah, because it's probably true, Dave. Like, listen, if we just, like, this mosquito thing that you're so, like, worked up about. Here's the thing. Numbing agent, so they don't know we're biting them because they're weak. They're weak little babies, and if we know that they're biting us, we'll slap them and then they'll die. So they put a numbing agent in us, and then, oh no, we're allergic to the numbing agent, and that's why some people get mosquito bites, and then we've solved it, and then we can play with this new sweet ping pong table that I bought with our grant money.
I do love the ping pong table, Umberto. I do love it, and I want to buy into this plan.
Then do it. Then just do it. It's not a plan. It's what mosquitoes do. It's how they work. It's called living the secret, Dave.
I love it. Best 2 out of 3.
Hypotheses or games of ping pong? I'll tell you what.
Both, buddy. Both.
Great, because I got some fun ideas for cancer that we can just come up with real quick and then go home, and it will affect
let's
no one.
Let's just knock out all the scientific questions over a game of ping pong.
Yeah, this comes from the moon. Let's go home.
I saw this story on our Discord, which you can become a member at by visiting our Patreon, patreon.com/wehaveconcerns. This was sent to us by our old friend Mark, no nickname, Newfer. Now, before we even get into this story.
Did you know?
Anthony,
yeah, you noticed. I was going to bring it up to you. I was going to see how long it took for you to notice because he changed it a little while ago.
It's entirely possible that we've been butchering his name for actual years.
Yeah, no. Okay, so here's the thing is I saw that in the Discord, he actually changed his last name to the phonetic spelling of his last name.
Because we are so dumb.
Yeah.
We just kept calling him the wrong name for... He kept giving us amazing stories. Yeah. We gave him, he earned a nickname. It's no nickname, but it's a nickname.
Oh, man, his nickname could have been Spielberg because he kept giving us amazing stories. I didn't think of that.
That's real good.
No, but no nickname's better. No, you know what?
No nickname, Newfer. It's Newfer. He had to change it because we're so bad at getting people's names right.
Okay, here's what we're going to do.
Sorry, Mark.
Here's what we're going to do. I've never done this in my life. I'm going to change his nickname.
To Spielberg?
To Spielberg.
I love it.
He's now
Mark Spielberg Newfer.
He's now Spielberg because he gives us so many amazing stories, and because we fucked up the pronunciation of his last name for literal years. But in our defense, if you had to guess whether somebody's nickname was Nuffer or Newfer, you would think that Newfer was a Saturday morning cartoon from the early 90s about like a cool alien that skateboards.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think I saw that amazing story about the
about Newfer.
About Newfer.
And the adults couldn't see him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why we thought it was Nuffer, because that's a last name and Newfer is a cartoon. Man, now I just want I changed his name to Spielberg, but now I'm picturing this skateboarding Newfer. See, this is why it's tough to get a nickname and why you have to submit so many good stories before I'll give you one, is because nicknames are hard and I'm bad at them. Anyway, go on.
Yeah. Anyway, Mark Newfer Spielberg. He sent us this story about someone who actually looked into this issue. That someone, or actually several someones, but one of the team is this woman named Leslie Vosshall.
What's the issue, man? Why do we need to know what mosquitoes do? Fuck off.
Well, I'll tell you.
I'm sorry. That was wrong of me to say. I'm sorry. That was wrong of me to say. I just don't care. Go on.
I'm going to make you care. Because Leslie Vosshall is a neurobiologist and a mosquito expert at Howard Hughes Medical Institute and the Rockefeller University.
You have to take off your shoes and put on tissue boxes before they let you walk into the Howard Hughes Center.
That's true. Yeah,
And-
that's
and if you
it's
ask-
mostly for germs. It's
Yeah.
really actually a smart scientific approach.
If
but
you ask them where the
it's just
restroom is, they hand you a jar.
It's just a weird coincidence that
Yeah.
their best practices are. But Leslie Vosshall has the title mosquito expert. She goes through her whole life, goes all around. All her friends know mosquito expert. Guess what question she gets asked more than anything else? Any party she goes to, any social gathering, any family meeting, any casual acquaintance walking up saying, mosquito expert. She hands her card to someone, mosquito expert. Oh, I got a question for you, Leslie.
Well, it's got to be. How come it feels like I get bit all the time and my friends never get bit? Or how come I never
Exactly.
get bit and my wife gets bit or my husband gets bit?
That's right.
Or
That's the
Newfer, my
question.
alien friend, keeps getting bit and it seems like he doesn't have the antibodies to deal with it.
And none of the adults can see him.
And none of the
Why is
adults can
that?
see him and he's very sick now. He doesn't even want to skateboard anymore. And it used
He's
to
got
be
that
his
little
life.
face who goes,
Yeah.
that's right. Everybody, she says, quote, my mother, my sister, people in the street, my colleagues, everybody wants to know, why are some people more attracted to mosquitoes than others? Is it even true? Is it even a case?
Is it even
that
real?
Yeah. Is that apocryphal? Which would be, a story that gets blown out of proportion.
Yeah, it gets passed over time
Yeah.
from person to
Yeah.
person, and people just believe it.
So Leslie Vosshall and her associates.
Y'all can't see, but all the puppets and the robots in my room go crazy every time we say apocryphal.
It's true. It's the word of the day. She and her colleagues decided to set out to answer this question once and for all, to put an end to the speculation, the wild, rampant questioning that she gets incessantly.
And they decided that it might as well have been numbing agent.
No mention of the numbing agent in this entire story.
might
which
as well
made
have
me
been.
very sad. Because I think I've actually related that story. I've explained it very confidently to people in that way, and
I've
people have been like,
definitely
"Oh,
said-
that's interesting."
I've definitely said it's connected to blood type or genetics or, all
Yes.
kinds of stuff.
Well, this has been the prevalent theory, is that blood type might have something to do with it, that there is some sort of, differences in blood type, maybe more, one blood type may be more attracted to mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Vosshall says evidence is weak for that. There's no evidence for blood type being the differentiator. So they decided to test this notion at all. Like, is this even a thing? Are mosquitoes actually attracted to one person over another?
Now,
their
Jeff,
theory was, sorry, go ahead.
Jeff, I have to say,
Yes.
we've known about mosquitoes now for at least 10 years.
Yes.
And
More, at least 10.
we've all had the same question about mosquitoes for those 10 years.
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
has nobody really looked into this before? Was there no research for her to build off of? Why did nobody look into this?
It turns out a huge number of ping pong tables were sold.
Okay.
People were just fucking off.
And listen, correlation
Playing
is not
ping pong.
causation, but
Not causation, but I'll just say
Listen,
a lot of researchers who are like, we could look into this or use our grant money for the ping pong tables.
right. This could be apocryphal, which means it's a story that's been passed from person to person until we just believe it. But I heard that the scientists all fucked off to play ping pong.
That's what I heard.
That's what I heard.
That's what I heard. This has not been scientifically tested. So here's their methodology. I find this fascinating. Here's what their theory, they went into this going, hey, not blood type. We think it's actually odor. There is a particular odor of human that the mosquitoes prefer. So to test this.
Because girls are stinky.
Girls are stinky.
Because girls
and
are
they have
stinky, and so
cooties.
mosquitoes bite them.
It's the cooties
Yeah.
that make the scent, honestly. And the more cooties you have.
Yeah, the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, and the cootie is the scent factory of the cell. And
Scent factory.
and
Yeah.
that's why
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. So something about odor, but like before we even get into this, I'm going to say, look, I take a shower. All my friends take showers.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't mean to brag, but I know a lot of people who bathe and smell nice. I can't smell a difference between me and these people. Mosquito
You're not a
can?
mosquito. Well, this is what they wanted to find out.
Mosquito
they
known
went into
for
this-
scent? Mosquito have nose?
Mosquito have long, thin nose. Have you not seen mosquito under magnifying?
That's cartoon
glass?
mosquito.
I
Cartoon
know,
mosquito
but
have
it's
nose, but like
based on truth. It's not that mosquito drawing isn't apocryphal.
no. What you mean? Like people saw it and just took it as true, and then passed it along from person to
Right.
person until we all believed it.
Yeah.
So, but like cartoon mosquito have nose, but I don't know much about anatomy of mosquito. Mosquito have nose? Do smell?
Yeah.
Okay.
Evidently, because here's what they did. So
Better than
they
me?
decided
Fuck off, mosquito. Mosquito's small.
mosquitoes smell you.
All right.
Mosquitoes smell your blood.
All right, if you say so.
So Vossal and her colleagues got together 64 participants for their study,
Mm-hmm.
and they had them wear nylon stockings on their arms,
Sure.
as one does.
Yeah.
You know, after 6 hours, they decided that the nylon stockings smelled like your arm. You know,
6 hours is
6
probably
hours
enough.
of nylon stocking. Just go about your day. Wear your nylon stocking on your arm for just, you know. I'm sick of
You
people
could probably,
asking me questions.
Like, look,
Now they're going to ask you questions about your arm stocking.
here's the thing. I was gonna say they wear the stocking on their arm for 6 hours. It smells like them.
Yeah.
You can do a little science on it, but then there's a good resale market for used stockings on eBay.
Yeah.
And you don't have to tell them
Yes.
it was on your arm because what
You gotta-
they're buying.
You got to fund the study somehow.
Right.
You know what I mean?
What
and by
they're-
fund the study, I mean pay for the ping pong table.
What they're buying is the story. Do you know what I mean? Is the belief.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So like,
The story that's been passed around from person to person without regard to whether it's true or
right, but then accepted as true. You mean like apocryphal. So
not. Yeah, you get me.
yeah. So okay. So you wear this stocking for 6 hours. It has your your body odor, your scent.
Now this is not it's not like they ask people to sweat in the stock. It's not like, oh my gosh, these are stinky stockings. It's literally just whatever your human, you know, it's not a scent that you and I would be able to pick up.
Sure.
Okay. So then they cut these nylons into pieces and took
This is
two
their last
different
resort.
ones. Suffocation, no breathing. Which again is explaining the definition of suffocation, right?
Right. Yeah. You don't need to do
Suffocation,
that.
no breathing?
Yeah. You don't need to say that. It's implied.
You said suffocation. I get it. No breathing. You don't have to say that. All right. So they cut these
But let me ask you how
nylons
these
into
scientists feel
pieces.
about like if during this process they accidentally cut their arm bleeding.
They don't give a fuck if they're coming or leaving, is my understanding.
Really?
Yeah, so they took two different nylon pieces from two different subjects in a closed container that had female mosquitoes. These are 80s Egypti mosquitoes, which I'm entirely certain I mispronounced, like Mark Knuffer's name.
Okay.
And then they did a series of, this is like they did March Madness for mosquitoes. They just did matchups, pairings, 1 versus 1.
Okay.
Which one did the mosquito go to? Boom, boom, boom. And then they kept narrowing it down. Different pairings, different nylon scents of these 64 people. You know, just like March Madness, 64 teams on this huge bracket.
Yes.
I'm sure they had some betting
Yes.
in the lab.
We both know how many teams are in March Madness. Yes, you don't have to say anything. We both know that. Everybody knows that. It's apocryphal.
So, you can't use words I don't understand, Anthony. You can't use words I don't know.
Oh, sorry.
the meaning of.
Apocryphal is like when something's been passed along from person to person. It's just sort of believed as true.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Anyway, so they had this massive tournament. of which nylon piece do the mosquitoes like more. And it turned out there was clear proof that some people's scent was more attractive than others. In fact, they described subject 33, the 33rd person of 64, was the clear winner. They were the biggest mosquito magnet. They had an attractiveness score over 100 times greater than that of the least attractive subjects, which were subjects 19
Yeah, fine.
And 28,
Okay, fine. They won. But how's their academic performance? Like, are they even
Doesn't
going?
matter.
Are they even going to class? Like, that's what this study is supposed to be about. Like, it's like March Madness is fun.
Of the mosquitoes.
No, March Madness is fun. But like, there's a real reason why these people are in this study, and that's to learn. They
cut down the nets. The mosquito nets?
Yeah. Which was a bad idea. Everybody got very sick.
Not good. Not good. But they won. They won the Mosquito Madness.
What was it about subject 33?
Well, here's the pattern that they found. The most attractive subjects, the subjects that the mosquitoes tended to gravitate to over time, tended to produce greater levels of carboxylic acids from their skin, while the least attractive subjects produced much less. So carboxylic acids are organic compounds that are created on our skin. In fact, humans create them more than any other animal.
Okay.
They're created in our sebum. Sebum?
Sebum.
It's that, the sebum. I don't believe them.
Shaboom, shaboom.
Shaboom, shaboom. Bang, bang, bang. Anyway, so it's this layer of our skin, oily layer, that basically keeps our skin moisturized and protected. But the interesting thing is humans make this compound more frequently than any other animal.
I hear this term all the time in context of skincare.
Right. Yes.
It's skincare. It's from it's from like the sebaceous glands, and there's like a whole thing where like people use all of these skincare products to regulate or remove the production of it because it apparently causes oily skin, which makes you break out. Right.
Yes.
Cool. So these people are oily and gross.
No.
Yeah. Kind of like oily, gross people.
Kind of like, I wouldn't say they're super oily and super gross.
Kind of like really oily and like gross and disgusting, and like
they're very attractive to mosquitoes.
And like get yourself a regimen and just do it in the morning and before you go to bed at night, so you're not so gross for mosquitoes.
Well, so here's the craziest part of this whole thing.
Yeah.
So Voss Hall and her team said they had too few participants in their study to say what personal characteristics make someone more likely to produce these high levels of carboxylic acids. But they're hoping that people, they want to do like a skin swab test. So they can do like a mass amount of people and really test it. But here's the craziest part. They actually did this tournament, this March Madness. They didn't just do it in March. No. They did it multiple times, several months apart with the same people. And they found that there wasn't any change in their carboxylic acid levels.
Sure.
So there's any number of personal things that have changed. Like their diets have changed. They've done different. There are different times of year. There's different. All kinds of things have changed.
They forced subject 33 to become an alcoholic just to see.
Right. Just to see.
Ruined that person's life.
That's right.
Lost their job. Their significant other left them. They have no more personal ties to anyone. They're in financial trouble. But here's the thing. The carboxylic acid, exactly the same.
The
remorse level of the scientists, zero.
Yeah,
absolutely zero.
They're professionals.
Then they went to they were like, and now it's time for the real March Madness. And they went to the office ping pong table.
Yes.
We've done the work, and now it's time.
We've done the work.
Now it's time to
set
play.
Up the bracket. Woo! Now it's time to understand who owns the ping pong table. No, the kind of soap they use changed. All their eating habits changed. All kinds of things were variables that should have affected this scent that the mosquitoes are picking up on. No.
Genuine question.
It doesn't matter.
Did they try to control these variables as much as possible or make a list of these variables, or were they just like, live your life, change things up the way you normally do?
It was the latter, but basically the idea was, does change affect this?
Right.
Can we go, hey, if you're getting eaten by a bunch of mosquitoes, stop having spinach, and you'll see a market improvement, or whatever it is.
Right, but they didn't control for that, so they don't know what those changes would be.
Well, the fact that there were, the idea being there were wide changes, and they saw no difference.
Gotcha.
The point being, if there was like a different soap you could use, or, using a different soap would change that, then maybe there was something actionable.
Or like diet, like right now.
Exactly.
Anybody, like right now here in the winter, all anybody's eating is gingerbread, right? Like we mostly once October starts or November starts, like we basically just eat gingerbread until February.
And pumpkin spice. It's pumpkin spice and gingerbread.
And nothing
which
changed.
Is different. Yeah.
Okay.
But the carboxylic acids don't give a crap.
No.
If you're eating gingerbread, or if you're eating summertime strawberries.
I wish that most of the people in my life wouldn't care that I'm eating gingerbread. But here's the thing. November hits and all I eat is gingerbread. And everybody in my life is like, hey, man, you got to eat more than gingerbread. You look really bad. You look really sick. When was the last time you had a bowel movement? Why do you look so puffed up? Are you getting any sleep?
Can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man.
And they're like, you're very easy to catch. You're very ill. You have no energy. You've been eating no protein. And I wish they would care less. Because here's the thing, Jeff. I wish they would be more like mosquitoes. Gingerbread delicious. Gingerbread yummy. Gingerbread only
yummy and delicious.
Only widely available during this quarter of the year, really.
I don't think I have the love of gingerbread you do.
Fuck, I love a gingerbread, man.
It's clear. You've made that very clear.
Love gingerbread.
I'm not going to turn down a gingerbread.
No, why would you?
I'm not going to seek out a gingerbread.
That'd be bonkers.
If there's a plate, and upon that plate is a finely crafted gingerbread cookie right next to a sugar cookie with icing of the season.
Gingerbread.
No. That's an incorrect answer.
What?
That's the incorrect answer.
No, because sugar cookie all the time. Sugar cookie, bad texture. Sugar cookie feels like
How dare you?
Sugar cookie feels like I'm literally just biting into sugar. It's almost like I can feel the granules.
Exactly.
No, it's bad. It's wrong. Gingerbread, refined, subtle taste, complex, grown up, very good, shaped like little man, fun.
Often shaped like a little man.
Sometimes house. But dude, I'll eat a whole gingerbread house. Gingerbread
house is not for eating.
I'll be the
gingerbread house not for eating. Gingerbread house for displaying.
Nah.
Gingerbread man. You eat the people. Nah. You don't eat their homes.
I go with it's the nuclear bomb of cookies. We want to leave the important centers of commerce if we can. Yeah. We want to be sure to leave that so we can come in and take over their factories and centers of business. We want to get rid of the organic materials.
Obliterate the organic. Obliterate the people.
No, I will be the kaiju that destroys your gingerbread city. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if you have the most ornate, beautiful gingerbread house set up. If I come into your house and you have a giant, beautiful gingerbread house set up, the first thing I'm going to go is, can I have a piece of that?
Let me tell you. Let me ask you this question, Anthony.
If you say no, I'm going to find a piece that I can pull off that you don't notice.
I'm going to say no for your own safety. Tell me any other cookie that is left out on the table for months at a time, just as a display. There's no, you see a gingerbread house, there is no guarantee that thing is still edible.
Oh, buddy, it's still edible. Let me tell you something, buddy. We have gotten down to only a single step scientific method here on the show this week. I've eliminated 80% of the work, and I'm telling you that my hypothesis is I can eat that gingerbread house. It looks like cookie. Probably tastes like cookie. Anyway, so we don't know though whether gingerbread does. So it doesn't matter if you had
gingerbread cookie, if you're in gingerbread cookie fall or strawberry summer. or Plum Spring. I don't know.
Yeah, Plum
It doesn't
Spring.
matter what you eat. It doesn't matter what you eat. It doesn't
That's
matter
when
what
they
soap
send the
you-
Amish kids away.
The weird takeaway from this is you're potentially more attractive, scientifically more attractive to a mosquito, and there's nothing you can do about it. There is nothing you can do about it. This is your lot in life.
So they don't know if it's that this person has more oil. It just has something to do with what's in the oil.
No, it's more. It's more.
It makes
It's
more.
Well, it's these acids. It's these carboxylic acids.
But we don't know what's
more of them.
We don't know what's making you make these acids.
Correct.
But they could probably.
That's correct.
And here's where I wish that there has to be like a science hotline where one scientist can call another scientist and be like, surely somebody has studied the production of carboxylic acids, and we know what makes more and what makes less of them in the body, and if there's any way to change that. Surely we could call somebody who studies skin. I myself, mosquito expert, know everything about mosquitoes. Don't you worry. You got mosquito question, I got mosquito answer. I would like to trade mosquito answer for skin answer, like a Craigslist.
This is
for
the
scientists.
marketplace of ideas.
This is the marketplace of ideas.
Yes.
Which I always imagined as like that scene from Hellboy 2.
Yeah.
Where they go into the underground market full of magical, mystical creatures.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you go into a secret science market and all the scientists are there with their ideas. And
he's like, mosquito ideas, 2 for $70.
And people are like, what do you got? Give me, all right, I'll tell you what. Let me try one mosquito idea. And if I like it, I'll buy the second one. Give me a mosquito idea.
Mosquitoes, they inject you with a little tranquilizer before they take your blood. And some people are more allergic to that.
Ooh,
mosquito idea.
That's a good idea. Is that a true idea?
That's apocryphal.
Oh, okay. What does that mean?
Hey, word definitions, $14. Word definitions.
Oh, I just spent all my money on mosquito ideas.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You'll never know why it's apocryphal.
I wish there were other people around me who knew what apocryphal meant and had passed it from one to another. And then those people could share their knowledge with me.
Nah, that's not capitalism.
No.
That sounds
Okay.
like socialism.
So now it's the socialism of ideas. That's the third floor. But you're not going to like it.
You're not going to like it at all.
You young folks think you're going to like the socialism of ideas, but you don't, because people are just sharing bad quality ideas.
They just share bad ideas is the problem.
How do you know what ideas are worth something? Well, there's no motivation to come up with good ideas.
You're going to be back to the marketplace of ideas. You're going to be, I mark my words, Marxism, my words. That was terrible. So here's the thing. While we can't change anything about ourselves, if you're delicious to, or, you smell great to a mosquito, they're going to find you. There's nothing you can do about that.
How are they finding
internally? Us? But the good news is we are taking this, another fellow, a cell and molecular biologist at the University of California, San Diego, Omar Akbari.
Here we go.
He's taking this research. He loves the fact that this is new information. They are going to try to develop more effective mosquito repellents in the future. He says the secret might be in adding new bacteria to the skin's existing microbiome to alter its scent profile. So we can just do some sick gene therapy or new bacteria.
I don't know. This sounds to me like I already don't. You know what? Here's the thing. I already don't know what insect repellent is doing to me when I spray it on. I don't pay attention because here's the thing. I just don't want insects bite me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
and so like in that.
How bad do you not want them to bite you?
Well,
willing to mess with your microbiome?
Well, pretty badly because I've never looked into the safety of insect repellent before. Here's what I know. I know that when I was younger, the idea was there was a thing in insect repellent called DEET, and you don't want that. Apparently, it was making people bad. It was doing genetic things that were not good. But I didn't know that. And they when they said, hey, this one doesn't have the bad thing anymore, literally my brain went, oh, cool, there was a bad thing in it, but now there isn't. So great. It's even safer to use than it was before. I still don't look into what's in insect repellent. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Like,
fair.
So when it says
just spray it on you, it can't be that bad. Just spraying it into the air, inhaling half of it, putting it on your skin.
Everybody says it's fine.
Yeah,
it's apocryphal. So like if they say we're going to add something that like change, like maybe a bacteria that changes your scent profile, my brain goes, hey, should we be messing with that bacteria? But my brain also goes, hey, buddy, you don't know if they've been messing with all kinds of other stuff up until now.
There you go.
I haven't even looked into it.
Why are you concerned now? Why now?
Oh,
should you be worried?
Oh, whoops! You have a little bit of information, and now your ignorance isn't bliss anymore.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Hey, Anthony, guess what? Speaking of ignorance not being bliss anymore, it gets worse.
Okay.
Our friend that I just introduced you to, Omar Akbari, the cell and molecular biologist at the University of California, San Diego, who wants to add new bacteria to the skin's existing microbiome to alter its scent profile. You remember him?
Yeah.
Remember him from just a couple of minutes ago?
Yeah. We've met.
Guess who he's working with?
The Greys? The lizard people?
It's the Department of Defense. It might as well be. It's the Department of Defense, the DOD. They have a project that the Department of Defense has funded called Revector. This is a project that is seeking to develop repellents that can be applied once and be active for multiple months. So the idea is you put your Deep Woods Off on your skin one day, and it works for months and months and months. And Mr. Akbari says, Dr. Akbari? I don't know. It doesn't say. Mr. Akbari says, the idea is taking human colonizing skin bacteria and engineering them in such a way that they can either express a repellent compound or be able to degrade something that's attractive.
Okay. I always have my first complaint, question, concern about this, which is, how come it's always got to be the military? How come we can't have anything nice unless the military needs it first? We got to get out of this. We got to get out of this fucking mindset. We're like, well, if the military needs it, we're just gonna give them millions of dollars to fund it. Because like some dude from the military goes into some dude from the government's office and goes, if they're carrying around that insect repellent, that's like another 6 ounces in their pack and it takes up space and we need to put more bullets in there to kill other living things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like 6 ounces of bullets doesn't sound like a lot, but it could be the difference between killing another living thing and not killing another living thing that day. And do you really want that on your head? And then the guy from the government goes, shit.
Shit. Let's give you. Okay. You're right. Here's $500 million to develop your,
and then
bacteria.
And then somewhere 1,000 miles away, every single symphony orchestra dies.
Yes.
And then nobody gets health care. But
now that the Department of Defense knows that the specific carboxylic acids are the most powerful attractors, they think that they is really a breakthrough on this whole plan of one spray or cream or something that you put on yourself that literally is smearing bacteria on you.
Well, but here's the other thing.
And then mosquitoes can't smell you.
Here's the other problem with the military being the client here, and it always is the problem with the military. The military is going to do just enough research to make sure it's not going to kill people noticeably.
Right.
Right.
No, noticeably is the key.
Yeah, that's the key.
The heavy lifting.
They're going to be like, well, we tested it and they didn't drop dead. So rub this all over yourself for, once a month for your 4 years that you're stationed in this, tropical region that has a lot of mosquitoes. And, and then maybe 20 years from now, you have weird brain pain that we've never seen before. And
yeah, but that's way after I'm already retired.
Yeah, at that point, I'm retired. You're near death. No one's listening. Gotta go.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. Classic.
Yeah, that's so military.
There's one more question that needs answering that Ms. Vosshall and her team looked at.
Do mosquito have nose?
Do mosquito have nose? Or is that, as they would say, wildly exaggerated? Why would mosquitoes care how much carboxylic acid you have? Why does that matter to them? Why are they attracted to people who have more carboxylic acid?
Right.
Then what? Who cares? What does the mosquito care? Blood is blood, yo. Well, here's their theory. These mosquitoes evolved to prey specifically on humans, and the reason they think that's the case is possibly because humans often have a lot of clean water supply around, which mosquitoes want to be able to breed new mosquitoes in.
Right.
So it's we like humans because they have the sweet ass clean water that doesn't kill us.
Well, and also like we should say this. We're goofing, but in terms of like carrying really intense diseases that we cannot do much about, or carrying diseases in areas that do not have the sort of medical facilities and care or supplies to treat those diseases in a quick and painless way. Mosquitoes are like when you talk about, there's a reason why the military is probably calling this vector, is they're a disease vector. And so they're one of the biggest disease vectors in the world. So, the military is calling it revector, I would imagine, because it's like, get these mosquitoes out of here. Get them over.
Not a bad thing to want. No, not a bad thing to want to do.
No,
to be able to
not
have
at all.
A one-time use, multi-month effective mosquito repellent.
As long as it's safe. And we all know, because we've done tons of research, and this isn't a new field of research, that the microbiome is safe to mess with.
Exactly. There's no downside because we know exactly what we're doing.
Sure. But so now they need to figure out why the mosquitoes want these things.
Well, yeah. So they specifically prey on humans because they like our fresh water.
Mm-hmm.
And carboxylic acid is mainly, it exists in nature, but it's mainly produced by humans. So it's a human signifier. If you smell the carboxylic acid as a mosquito, you can be pretty certain it's a human that is generating that odor. So the most carboxylic acid people are the most human.
So we
if
can
you're
weed
super
out,
attracted,
we can weed out the androids.
Exactly.
And the
this is how
lizard
you
people.
know if you're a Cylon.
Oh, dude.
So the good news is,
wait, does that mean you and I don't get?
We might be Cylons.
We don't get bitten a lot by mosquitoes.
Exactly.
Do you? I mean, I have my birth certificate.
I was born also.
Okay. So
and
we've done
manufactured.
We've done as much research into this as we can.
Done.
So by our new one-step scientific method, we can let this go. We're definitely not sleeper agents from some other species.
Of course not. That's a ridiculous thing to even suggest.
What are your feelings on Bob Dylan?
Definitely human. So the good news here is that you can tell your friend who asks you, "Hey, why it's annoying. I get mosquitoes love me." Well, that's because you are the most human of us,
with the grossest, oiliest skin. The oiliest people are the best people.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what. Because of my genetic makeup, I like that aphorism.
There you go. There you go. I think this is a pretty awesome story. It really clears up something that is something I thought I understood, but clearly did not. And it answers that question once and for all. Are some people more attracted to mosquitoes? Yes.
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are.
I also like this because this is one of those stories of something where it's like, this is the number one question we have. Surely they've done research into it. And I love that. Yeah. Like, I'm sure somebody did research into it in the past. They're not mentioning it here. But I do love that it's always like, oh, wait, yeah, a lot of people do ask me that. Maybe we should look into it. Like, it's funny sometimes. Like, the stuff that you like, the stuff when you're in a field of research, the stuff that you think is important or the stuff that you're following is not necessarily like the big questions most people have, because maybe that doesn't feel to you like the most important thing. But this turned out it was the question that most people have, and pretty important thing.
Pretty important, pretty useful information to have.
Well, thanks to Spielberg for sending this one in.
Good job, Spielberg.
Good job as always, Spielberg. Hey, maybe you want to be the next Spielberg. A lot of people have tried. A lot of people have used lens flares. Does that work?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No. Walk into your own close-up. Walk into your close-up. Who knows? You can be Spielberg.
You could be Spielberg. Who knows? If you want to be the next Spielberg, maybe you send in an interesting story you've seen to us. You can do that at wehaveconcernshow@gmail.com. You can also send it to, well, don't send us stories on Twitter. They get lost. But you can send it
Twitter is dying.
No, Twitter is dying anyway. Don't do it. Everybody run to Discord.
Anthony, we have been doing this show long enough where we recommended people use Facebook, and then we recommended people did not use Facebook. And then we recommended people use Twitter, and now we're recommending people do not use Twitter. It really feels like, with every season, turn. You know what I'm saying?
From plum spring to gingerbread summer. You know what I'm saying? So here's the thing. We're now recommending, in order to have good, safe social media that is not going to be harmful in any way, that you give us money.
That's right. That's the best way to ensure that you're with other cools. Are you a cool? You can be a cool.
Are you a noofer?
By giving us $1 a month. $1! A single US dollar a month gets you access to our Discord where the cools hang out, share stuff that is absolutely not apocryphal.
Which means what? Never mind.
I'm not clear.
Patreon.com/wehaveconcerns.